what you call it computer to see this, because I am going to also show. Are you able to see the screen that I have right now?
Yes, sir.
I mean,
Visible.
is my screen legible?
Yes, sir. The blue screen is
Yes, sir.
visible.
Yes, sir.
Ah, yes, yes. So you can actually also see if I just type empty cars on the R console, and you will get some data. So if you remember, last time when I was talking about non-parametric statistics, I was actually using this data to talk about the Wilcoxon test, Wilcoxon single parameter test. I have used this particular data for doing that. Okay, and then you can actually use the Wilcoxon dot test parameter, simple, and you can actually do the hypothesis testing. So Wilcoxon test is the command which you are going to use. So if I just do that, empty cars dollar mpg, and then they say mu equals to 21, it will give me some output. Oh, sorry, Wilcox test. So Wilcox test empty cars dollar mpg, and remember the Wilcox test is about imagining or hypothesizing what my median would be, and I just put the median like this. Median is 17, and it is going to calculate, and it says cannot compute exact p-value with tiles, and of course it is showing that, and it is also showing that alternative hypothesis is true, and true like location is not equal to 17. This is also showing. So it is directly possible to calculate the Wilcoxon test without actually going into Excel or writing macros and all that. In Excel, certain add-ins have to be installed. And here, what is happening is you can easily install any package, whatever you want. You just go into tools and install packages, and you will be able to install whatever package you want. You just type, say, for example, this one, and you just type the name of the package, and it will fetch the package and install it onto your computer. And it is as simple as that. So anyhow, the data which I have used is this empty cars. So let me show you the data. Empty cars. This is the empty cars data, and this usually what happens is whenever you are actually storing the data, whenever you are actually using the data in R, usually we use data frames. Okay, and it is possible for us to extract data from these data frames, and it is also possible for us to see the summary of that particular data frame. The summary, you see, if I just type summary empty cars, if I do that, it will give me a summary, and in this summary it is written what is the minimum, what is the maximum, what is the standard deviation, what is the first quartile. All that is given here, and from that summary we can make certain conclusions about the data and certain assumptions about the data. We can also plot, we can also make scatter plots, box plots, whatever I want. If I just type, say for example, box plot mpg, if I just do that, uh, and mpg is a column. So what happens is I want empty cars, and empty cars का एक column है, उसका नाम है mpg. If I just do the box plot, it will come up with the box plot on this side, on the right side of the R Studio. So whatever software which I'm using right now, that software is known as R Studio. So you can see the box plot which is plotted on the right side of the screen right now. Okay, so you can do like that. But anyway, we'll go into some bit of advanced things now. So anyway, let us go back to our presentation. Okay, so in order to install R, so what you have to do is you have to download R. So R is a cross-platform compatible package, and it can be installed on Macintosh. It can be installed on on a Linux platform. It can be installed on the Windows platform. So you can download R from this website www.rproject.org, and you have to, in addition to that, you have to download RStudio. It is also available from rstudio.com. Both RStudio and R can be installed on Windows, Linux, and Macintosh. Now, please note that it is possible to use R only with the R project. Okay, so what will happen? Suppose, for example, if I do that, if you can see my, I hope you can see my screen. If I just type R, so you will get a console like this one. Uh, let, let that console appear for some time. Okay. So right now you are seeing this console. So by default, this console is there. Okay. Now the problem with this console is you cannot see what variables are there in the environment. You cannot see which files are there in the environment. You cannot do that, and that is the reason why we prefer. Okay, so that is the reason why we prefer using the R Studio. In the R Studio, what is happening is you are seeing like this. So you can see right now on the what is available in the global environment, like whatever fields are there, whatever files are there. You can see your files. You can see which packages are available, and you can see the help also. So several things are available, and this is much like what we call as an integrated development environment. So RStudio is a very popular program amongst the data scientists. Okay, so okay, let's go here. So what you have to do is you have to download R, number one, and then you have to download RStudio. You have to install R first, and then you install RStudio. So if you do this, then you are ready for doing anything what you want. Okay. Now, what is interesting about this is R is interoperable with Microsoft Excel. It is interoperable also with LibreOffice. So if people who are working on Linux, they will get LibreOffice. It is interoperable there. And what you can do is actually you can read LibreOffice files. You can also read Excel files. So LibreOffice में जो spreadsheet है, that is called Calc, it is interoperable there. So very simple. LibreOffice is is compatible with Windows, Linux, macOS, and your R is also compatible with Windows, Linux, macOS. So it is much easier. Also, it is easier to operate with LibreOffice. Okay, so let us go ahead. So you can import data. I was talking about interoperability, and therefore you can import data into R, and these are stored in various formats. You know the CSV, comma separated value. Okay, has anybody started recording the? Yes. Thank you for whoever has started. Thank you very much. Okay, so what you are seeing right now is comma separated values, and you are seeing XLSX. So originally the file format was XLS, and later with Microsoft Office 2007, XLSX has come in. So those are XML based Microsoft Excel file. And the third one is ODS. ODS is Open Office or LibreOffice format. So these are all spreadsheet data collection formats. And by default, you can use this and you can read the data into the R environment. So for example, how to read the data into an R environment? The command, for example, if I want to read a CSV file, it is directly read.csv. You just give the file name, ये file name दे दीजिए, ये header दे दीजिए, and header equal to 2 देना है. तो फर्स्ट लाइन छोड़ के बाकी सब लाइंस वो रीड कर लेगा. And similarly, XLSX, अगर आपको read करना है, you have to install this package. By default, R will be able to read the comma separated value because it's a text file. So any package can read it. By default, जब DOS programming चल रहा था तभी CSV files read होते थे. Now, if I want to read XLSX package, that means Microsoft Excel files, you have to install the package called read Excel. And you can install the package by doing this. Like how to install the package? Like you go here and there you are. And what you have to do, read Excel. ऐसा ये command है, and you just press the install button and it will install. Okay. Okay, so let us look at the next thing. So, and you, if you want to read the Excel file, you have to, if you have the Excel file in your current directory, you will be able to also read the Excel file with the sheet name. It is completely possible to do that. Okay, similarly, if I want to import existing formats into R, that means the ODS file, and then similarly, you have to install the package called read ODS, and you can also read the same thing into the data frame. So you have to type the sheet number. You can also create your own data. For example, let us try to create our own data. We'll go into this R. I've just given an example here, but you can create your own data. Let us try to do that. And you see, I had just tried to read Excel install. So this installation is already completed here. Okay. Now let us suppose that I want to create my own data. How to do? So let us suppose I want to create the data column. I want to create one column. Say for example, this column का नाम होगा मेरा पहला column. Okay, मेरा column. So suppose for example, this is my column name, and in this column I am going to put, say for example, 5 values. So 5 values I'm going to put. So let us say 5, 7, 2, 3, 4. I just put this. So this is मेरा पहला column. So as soon as I type this, on the right side, are you able to see this on the right side? There is this global environment, and global environment में मेरा पहला column has come in. Are you able to see that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
हाँ, तो ये यहाँ पे दिख रहा है. Okay, in the same way, मेरा दूसरा column. Okay, now अभी column बना रहे तो मेरा दूसरा column. Okay, and I'm just going to say again I am going to put 5 values. So 70, 32. I mean just put like that. Okay, so 23 and say 21. If I do that, then what will happen? मेरा दूसरा column भी बन गया. Now what I want to do is I want to create my data frame. How do I create my data frame? Okay, so I've said मेरा again data frame. पहला data frame कर दूंगा. पहला data frame. Okay, so how do I do that? Say data dot frame. Okay, and what you have to do is just create the names of the column. So first column pehla. So name of the first column is pehla. So just write pehla column, and dusra. Suppose if I just do that, so I just say mera dusra column. So if I just do that, then what will happen? Let us see. A new thing has been created here. You see, data. A new thing has been created here. It says 5 observations of 2 variables. Okay, if I open this, there are 2 variables. One is pehla and one is dusra. All right. Now let us try to type, or let us try to pehla data frame. If I just type enter, and you see my table which is ready here. दिख रहा है ना आप लोगों को? So right now what I have done is I have been able to create a data frame with 2 different columns. One first column name is Pehla and the second column name is Dusra. I have been able to do that. Similarly, you can create your customized data frames like this. Okay, and let us see इसके आगे क्या है. All right, so you can now, that's what I'm saying, you can create your own data. So this was an example which I took in the before and after scenario. Remember, before treatment and after treatment, this was the scenario which was given, and you can create your own data like this. Okay, similarly, ऐसा. So now let us go into, because I'm not going into a lot of data manipulation. I will also do data manipulation whenever I want it. I will go along with it. So basically what we are interested in is plotting. Ultimately बहुत सारे graphs मुझे निकालने हैं. Okay, and plotting can be done with the base plot command. There is a plot command. There is a function plot here. The plot command can be used to do the plotting, or you can use the ggplot2 library. Now what is interesting is if I want quality, बहुत सुंदर सुंदर plots मुझे बनाने होते हैं, इसलिए I will prefer using the ggplot2 library. ओके, तो कलरफुल प्लॉट्स है, एकदम उसको कस्टमाइज कर सकते हैं, उसको बहुत सुंदर बना सकते हैं. All that is possible using the ggplot2 library. Okay, and I can install ggplot2 again by the same way. Go to the RStudio, just click on that, and then you can install ggplot. You can also do the same thing. I mean, by the command अगर मुझे करना है, so the command is install.packages. This is the command. Okay, but you can also use the GUI. Those people who are interested in clicking the mouse and doing it, so you can use it. Go to RStudio, find packages, and then ggplot2 install कर लेना. Okay, and one of the, I mean, ggplot2 is such a popular library that it has been extended by many people. You can install gg themes, you can install ggpubr. These are packages available, and the ggplot2 library is, I mean, because when you want to really, code in ggplot2, you have to write very, very long codes. In order to save time for yourself, what people have done is they have written shorter versions. So, like for example, in themes, they have created new themes. They have created application software. So themes are possible to be created in ggplot2. You decide which color should be followed in your theme. You can do that. You can write your own ggplot2 theme also. It is possible. You do some reading on the internet. But what we are going to talk about is about this ggpubr theme. What the ggpubr theme is, it gives publication quality. So what it does is it gives us publication quality graphics. All right. So we will see. Okay. तो एक बेसिक प्लॉटिंग फंक्शन है जो प्लॉट फंक्शन है, दिस PLOT प्लॉट फंक्शन, एंड द नेक्स्ट is the ggplot2 library, the function which is used is ggplot. Okay. Now you can see the I had just created this before and after thing. ये जो plot command था, plot command, and अभी अपन क्या करेंगे? We will try to do the same thing by using our RStudio. Remember we had created this पहला दूसरा. Okay, I am going to plot again. So I just say plot पहला comma दूसरा. You just do that and you press enter. So what was okay? Sorry. What went wrong was pehla is not the command. Okay, so you have to write pehla, you have to write mera dot pehla data frame, uska pehla wala field pehla, and then mera dot pehla data frame dollar dusra. Okay, so that is why you should not create, this is an illustration, that is why you should not create systems where there are very, very long file field names or variable names. So ये plot आ गया मेरा. You can see how the plot looks like. अभी इसमें देखो प्लॉट का जो बना हुआ है, ये प्लॉट में क्या दिख रहा है? दिस इज सच अ लार्ज थिंग, द लेवल इज सो बैड हियर. ओके, यू सी जैसे जैसे मैंने टाइप किया था वैसा ही आ गया. करेक्ट है ना? Okay, now suppose I want to change and customize this data, change and customize these labels. This is called the X label and this is called the Y label. I want the title on the graph, all that I want. Na? If I want the title on the graph, how do I do that? So I just come back here, and if I just do that, I just say X lab. The X lab will make my X label. So मेरा बोला पहला पहला वाला डेटा, सपोज मैंने ऐसा बोला, and I just press enter and you say देखो x का लेवल चेंज होके पहला वाला डेटा हो गया. Okay, in the same way, if I want my y column to be there, y column label to be changed, so I just have to say y lab equals to दूसरा वाला data. Okay, if I do that and you see what happens, now the y label and the x label have been changed. Now suppose I want to add a title to this particular plot. How do I do that? Just add comma main mera title. Suppose I'm just saying, and if I do that, automatically a title is added to your graph. Okay, so this is how my basic plotting function looks like. Okay, आपको अच्छा लगे चाहे नहीं लगे, ऐसा ही दिखता है. Alright. So this is how it looks like. Okay. So this is how the scatter plot is. So we'll go to the next one. So now scatter plot using ggplot. Okay. Now your ggplot is an interesting plotting system. Okay. It uses geometries and it uses various things. So let us do the scatter plot using the ggplot. Now what will happen? Again we have used the पहला and दूसरा वाला command अपन ने देखा हुआ है. Okay, let us do that. Okay, now in the ggplot, this is the basic command. ggplot, this is the basic command. ये कोई भी plot के लिए मुझे ये चाहिए. Now A here is the data frame. That is what the data frame is. And in the data frame, the x-axis is t before. यानी मतलब मेरा जो पहला वाला system है पहला और this is दूसरा. Okay, AES means aesthetics. Okay, so for this ggplot, aesthetics are defined by the x-axis values and y-axis values. How do you want the graph to be displayed? I want the graph to be displayed as points. So you just use geom underscore point and then you add the labels. This is how you have to do. Okay. So this is how the ggplot works. All right. So what we will do is we will try to plot with the diamonds dataset. So the diamonds dataset comes along with the ggplot2 package. Okay, and it is any training data which was see whenever they divide they developed this ggplot2 package, they created the diamonds dataset also along with it. Okay, so what you have to do is load the data using data diamonds command. So if I want to load the data, how do I want to do it? So let us try to do that. I will just clear the screen so that you get more space. So I will just, if I want, I will also clear the space. So this space is clear. My environment is empty. I have also cleared my plot space. So plot is also empty. Everything is empty right now. Okay. And now I am into this environment. I am अभी empty मुझे कैसे पता चला? इसके पास देखो झाड़ू है यहाँ पे. You have got the jhadu here, this jhadu, clear object. This is again clear content. Everywhere there is a jhadu. So with the jhadu, you can actually clear all the kachara which is there on your screen. So I am going to load the diamonds data set right now here. So if I do this data diamonds data set not found. How do I load it? First of all, I will just do library because I told you it is added with ggplot2. If I just first of all load the library ggplot2 and then I type data diamonds. Okay, so right now the diamonds data set is available in my environment. And what are the contents of the diamonds data set? If I just do summary of diamonds, you see what is happening is so many fields are there in the diamonds data set. So it has got carat, it has got cut, it has got color, clarity, depth, table, price, etc. is all there. That means जैसे जैसे कैरेट है वैसा वैसा प्राइस बढ़ना चाहिए, यूजुअली बढ़ना ही चाहिए. तो अगर सपोज आई वांट टू प्लॉट, let us suppose I want to just plot price against the carat. That means price on the y-axis, carat on the x-axis. Suppose I want to do that. How do I plot? With my base plotting command is plot. Okay, and I will say कौन सा डेटा है उसका नाम है डायमंड्स डॉलर कैरेट on the x-axis and I will say diamond and price on the y-axis. So this is how it is. If I just plot and what will happen if I go to the plots package, let me see, it will after yeah there the plot is up. Okay, you see the plot which is coming in ऐसे करके आ रहा है. And again, if I remember that, if I want to change this, how do I change? If I want to, in the X label, I will just put carrots. In the Y label, I will put price. If I just do that, what will happen? All that, this will change after some time. Just look here. carats and price are there in the X level and Y level. But this particular plot is very very dry. बिल्कुल एकदम मुझे पसंद नहीं आया. एक्चुअली मुझे पसंद नहीं आया. ये भी इतना काला काला दिख रहा है. ओके, एंटरटेनिंग नहीं दिख रहा है. The research people want some advanced analysis. Can there be an input where I will include the concept of color into this? Can I include the concept of clarity into this? Can I include the concept of table into this? We have to investigate. Okay, ये देखो color में भी, clarity में भी. Clarity is another field which is there. Okay, clarity of the diamond. आपको पता है कि clarity के बेस पे आपको diamond का प्राइस चेंज हो जाता है. ओके, कट के बेसिस पे डायमंड का प्राइस चेंज हो जाता है. सो लेट अस सी इनटू द डेटा. मींस दिस इज द डेटा व्हिच आई एम हैविंग एंड let us look at the contents of the data. So I'm just having diamonds. If I just do that, it has got so many rows that it was 53930. Okay, this is the big data set which is available. Okay, very big data set, and you can do a lot of things with this particular data set. Okay, कट जैसा है उसके हिसाब से प्राइस होना चाहिए. क्लैरिटी जितना है उसके हिसाब से प्राइस होना चाहिए. पर हाउ डू आई कैलकुलेट द प्राइस? कैन यू एस्टिमेट द प्राइस बेस्ड ऑन, इफ आई से आइडियल कट है और उसका अच्छा क्लैरिटी है, क्लैरिटी का ये स्पेसिफिकेशन है, कैन आई कैलकुलेट द प्राइस? दिस इज द प्रेडिक्शन एनालिसिस व्हिच वी कैन डू लेटर, बट दिस इज व्हाट आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट. सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल प्लॉटिंग करते हैं. पहले डेटा को अंडरस्टैंड करने के लिए हमको प्लॉटिंग करना होता है. So this is some of the content which is given here. I'm just saying the first top few rows are given here. So I'm not, and you can see on the R Studio, we just actually printed this data. It contains 53930 more rows. Okay, some few 10 rows are being displayed here. It contains 53930 more rows. So much of data is present here. Okay, and we can do a lot of gaming with that data if you want. So let us see this is the content of the data, and I want to plot a histogram. What is a histogram? Histogram is basically a frequency diagram. Okay, so what do I want? I want to divide this carrot into so many bins. I have done that. Suppose I have done that bins. By default, it will create 5 bins. Okay, and then if it is a continuous data, it will create a histogram. If it is a discontinuous data or discrete data, it will create a bar graph. Okay, so this is a histogram. Histogram can only be created with continuous data. Okay, so your carrot or diamond, diamond carrot is a continuous data. So this is what I am trying to plot. Okay, so this is just histogram. So let us try to draw the histogram live. Okay, करके देखेंगे. तो हमारे पास क्या है? अगर मुझे उस कॉलम का कैरेट कॉलम का मुझे हिस्टोग्राम ड्रॉ करना है, तो आई हैव टू से हिस्ट इज द कमांड. हिस्ट कॉलम क्रिएट्स द हिस्टोग्राम ऑफ द गिवन डेटा वैल्यू. हिस्ट कॉलम क्या है? कॉलम इज डायमंड्स का कैरेट, उसका हिस्टोग्राम मुझे चाहिए. ओके, इफ आई जस्ट टाइप दैट, व्हाट विल हैपन? इट विल क्रिएट अ बेसिक हिस्टोग्राम. देखो, हिस्टोग्राम क्रिएट हो. Okay, so this is how the histogram is calculated. Now, if I want to plot the histogram with ggplot, so ggplot will require the data and what is on the x-axis. So remember, when I was talking about scatter plots, I was talking about geom underscore points. When I'm talking about histogram, it will be geom underscore. The geometry is as per the histogram. Geometry underscore histogram. ऐसा करना है. So by default in ggplot, as I told you earlier, so G in your अपना ये वाला plot है, इसमें तो उन्हें 5 बनाए थे, इसमें इन्हें 30 bin बनाएंगे by default. It will create a 30 bins. So now you see ggplot diamonds geometry underscore. So we'll just try to do that. Okay. So let us see ggplot. If I just type ggplot diamonds, nothing will happen. Remember, unless you give the geometry to the particular plot, nothing is going to happen. देखो ggplot diamond दिया, कुछ नहीं हुआ उसका. Okay, what you have to tell the particular plot is what do you want to do with the data? What will be on my x-axis? What will be on my y-axis? You have to tell the data. Okay, so how do I do that? ggplot diamonds plus. So if I say plus, and it will go to the next line. So I say geometry underscore histogram. Okay, and then what does it say? It says axis. So this axis will aesthetics. Aesthetics establishes the mapping. So what you have to do is I have to say AAS and x equal to caret. So automatically remember I don't have to say diamond dollar caret because I've already mentioned right now in the first line. I've already mentioned this line, particular line. I have already mentioned ggplot diamonds. Whichever data frame is being, whichever data frame, or this is called a table actually. This table is being referred to, and whichever data frame I am referring to, I have to just write, and this will automatically pick up the field from there. So now if I do that, okay, so look at this. Now the ggplot has created this particular diagram. All right. तो ऐसा इस प्रकार का दिखता है डेटा. And remember, if I want to in R Studio, if I really want to see how the diagram looks like in full size, look at this. Look at this. कितना अच्छा दिखता है ना, compared to what it was looking earlier. कौन सा डायग्राम? Let us see the earlier one. देखो कैसे हमने पहले बनाया था, ये वाला. ओके, बताओ कौन सा अच्छा दिखता है? ये वाला अच्छा दिखता है कि जीजी प्लॉट वाला अच्छा दिखता है? प्लीज टेल मी. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, you are.
Okay. So now we have been able to plot the histogram with the GG plot. I hope you are noting them down. In case if you are not, even if you are not noting them down, I am going to download this thing and upload it into YouTube. I have already uploaded these things into YouTube, the earlier lectures on non-parametric statistics into YouTube. I will also give you those links. So anyway, so now this was the scatter plot. Of course, we have seen that scatter plot already. Okay, बहुत ही गंदा plot दिखता है. But I can create better plots with ggplot. As I said, if I just say geometry point, I will get this particular scatter plot. अभी आप बोलो ये वाला अच्छा दिखता है कि ये वाला अच्छा दिखता है? आप ही बोलो. Naturally, ये वाला अच्छा दिखता है. Why? Because the point size is smaller. Okay. Now, can I make the point size smaller? Yes, I can. I can actually make the point size smaller, but I have to write certain extra commands. It is possible to do that. Okay, but if I'm talking about this particular plot, I have got the diamonds data and I put x-axis, the caret on the x-axis and the price on the y-axis. If I've done that, I will get this particular kind of plot. Let us try to do that. So ggplot, if I say diamonds, okay, I have to pass on the aesthetics. Okay, x equals to what will be there on the x axis and what will be there on the y axis. Okay, so this is there, and then if I have to say plus and I say geom underscore points. Okay, if I do that, let us see what happens. Oh, sorry, it is geom point. Okay, geom underscore point. So again, the plot is going to appear soon. It takes a bit of time to appear, and look here. I have zoomed into the plot and you are getting a different, you are getting the scatter plot of this particular function. Now, as and when the class will progress, I will give you much more attractive. Now this is there. Now you are actually seeing some lines here. If you analyze the plot here, you are seeing some lines. Are you able to see these lines here? ये देखो ये लाइन है, यहाँ लाइन है, यहाँ कुछ एक लाइन निकल रहा है. Is there a separation? You should actually start wondering, yeah, is this separation there? I don't know. Let us try to investigate on this particular separation. Okay, and how do I investigate on this separation? Is by giving different colors to certain certain features. How do I give different colors to certain features? By using the aesthetics attribute. So let us try to use the aesthetic attribute here. कैसे करेंगे? यहाँ पर एक color नाम का field है. ओके, यहाँ color नाम का field है. उस color नाम के field को मैं use कर सकता हूँ क्या? Can I try to create something different from here? ये देखो, मेरा x axis में carrot है और y axis में price ही होगा. But can I color in different methods? So what I do is geom underscore point, if I was doing that, and inside that I say aesthetics, I say color equals to color. If I just do that, let us see what happens. If I just do that, the color of the point will be based on the color field. That is what I am trying to say here. अब बताओ ये कैसा दिखता है? प्लीज टेल मी, ये कैसा दिखता है? ये अभी जनरेट हो रहा है. जस्ट अ मोमेंट. कुछ दिख रहा है?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this particular data contains, or this particular graph contains different points colored or as per the color attribute. Okay, you can also do the same thing with the clarity attribute. यहाँ देखो, right or right in the left side of the screen there is this clarity thing. Okay, तो clarity attribute पे भी try करके देख लेते हैं, देखते हैं क्या होता है. कुछ ऐसा अलग नजर आता है. So this is what we call as exploratory data analysis. That is what we are trying to do, and I am just doing this zoom point. Color equal to clarity. If I do that, let us see what happens. Which what is happening? Okay, sorry. Point. Okay. You have to say AAS color equal to clarity. Okay. So the point is the graph is being generated, and in the graph now you are seeing maybe the price is dependent upon the clarity also. देखो यहाँ पे देखो, more of them are purple colored. यहाँ पे more of these are green colored, more of these are yellow colored. दिख रहा है कुछ? So maybe something to do with clarity. I don't know. I mean, this is just exploration. Okay. Now let us go back to the presentation. So what I have done is I have actually generated these colors, and I have been able to generate these plots. Now what we can do is, अभी देखो यहाँ का ये जो application है, those people who are working with the ERP, I mean जो पहले वाला ERP था, not the current one, those people who are working with the ERP will recall that for every class we were able to download a huge Excel file which contained कि बाबा इसका परसेंटेज, क्वालिफाइंग परसेंटेज कितना था, इसका स्टेट कौन सा था, इसका कास्ट कौन सा था. You remember that particular Excel file, the huge Excel file that used to be there, and we could use the same Excel file for generating such faceted plots. This is called faceting plot. Okay, so ये देखो हो दिखता कैसा है. Let us see the faceting plot. Okay, what will happen? All right, now it is the same. It's the same command. but it will give us separate plots for each color. अभी अपन देखेंगे कैसा दिखता है वो separate plot for each color. So what I'm going to do, this is basic command. Okay, then of course geom points is, and I'm going to say aesthetics. I'm going to match the aesthetics with the color of the stone, color of the stone, and I am also going to give facet wrap. Okay, and I'm going to do the facet wrap with respect to color. Okay, and let us see how it looks. Correct. There you go. Then you say geom underscore point, you are saying AES, color equals to color plus facet underscore wrap equal based on color. If I do that, then you see what happens. It will generate a plot which will have separate diagrams or separate scatter plots for each of the colors of the diamonds. So देखो ऐसा plot आएगा. Now, if I have got the student database, can I use it for generating such plots? Does anybody have the student database with it? तो ये ऐसे करके plots अपन generate कर सकते हैं, and these are very interesting plots for studying. Okay. So almost all the plots have similar shapes है. तो अपन ऐसा बोल नहीं सकते कि भाई color dependent price है, ऐसा कुछ बोल नहीं सकते. Maybe I can change it to the clarity. If I change it to the clarity, maybe something different will come in. Okay, so I can do same things and I can create much more interesting plots like this. Okay, fine. So let us go back to where we were. Okay, so this is the visiting with the GG plot. Okay, so this is the kind of plot that was generated. And again, you can do this facet grid format. So color versus clarity, you can create various point, as I was talking about, whether there is a connection between the price and the clarity. So this kind of plot can also be generated. So instead of that, instead of the facet wrap, this is facet underscore grid. That is what we have to do, and cut versus clarity. You can also create box plots. Remember, as I told you earlier, the box plots are giving an estimation of the quartiles present in the data. So the quartile, what is the quartile? Can anybody tell me? You are going to divide this entire data set, or whatever the data is given to you. You are going to divide the data. You have to organize them in from the lowest value to the highest value. First thing. Next is you are going to find the value at the 25% of the data, the 50% of the data, and the 75% of the data. So the value at 25% represents the first quartile. The value at the 50% represents the second quartile or the median, and the value at the 75% that will represent the value at the 3/4. That means the third quartile. That is what it is. And the distance between the first quartile and the third quartile will become the interquartile range. Okay. And interestingly, what is happening here is this interquartile range is 1.5 times. This is an estimated value. I mean, not an empirical value. And if the values are above this particular interquartile range, then I am really suspicious whether the data contains a lot of outliers. So I'm really suspicious there. Okay. So again, with the ggplot also, if I just change, instead of saying geom underscore point, instead of saying geom underscore histogram, I will say geom underscore box plot, and I will be able to get this kind of his, what you call it is box plot. And I can also uh, generate a box plot like this. Is an advanced one where I am putting in the y-axis the carat value, and the x-axis I am putting the cut value. So in the cut value, there is this fair, good, very good, premium, and all that. So instead of cut, if I say clarity, then also the box plot can be generated. So let us try to do that. Let us try to do that. I'm going to use the same data set here. So geom, ggplot, definitely by ggplot. So by default, ggplot will recall data is diamonds. Okay. You can just directly type diamonds, or you just type data equal to diamonds to make it more explicit. So I am definitely interested in data equal to diamonds. On the x-axis, I want what? On the x-axis, I want cut. Okay. And on the y-axis, I want carat. That is true. Okay. And what I want is box plot, geom underscore box plot. So if I just do that, and let us see what will happen. This kind of graph you get, and you can zoom it. As I told you, you can zoom it, and you are going to get this kind of box plot. So you see, fair, good, very good, premium, ideal. And the same way, in case I don't want cut, I can also generate the same box plot with clarities also. The y equal to carat, instead of carat, I will just put clarity. So cut, you can put clarity here, and you will get similar plots here. So let us do that. If I just put, instead of cut, I just put clarity, and you can go for the box plot. Clarity wise, how many outliers are there or how many inliers are there? Look here. So why this is interesting is, if you look at the fingers of the auto walas in Aurangabad, I'm just pay attention to the fingers of the auto walas in Aurangabad. You will find these auto walas have very large ring stones, very large stones in their hand. And I actually asked one of the auto walas, ये क्या पहना है, इतना बड़ा क्यों पहना है आपने? So then said मुझे शौक है. So these are basically, usually if you go to any astrologer, they will recommend छोटी वाली पहन लो, 3 रत्ती का पहन लो, 2 रत्ती का पहन लो. They will say small stone you wear. And if you go to these water walas and if you observe the water walas, they will wear a very big ring, very big stone. Okay, so those are basically, that's what I'm trying to say is, those are basically outliers in my data set. Normally, people will wear very small stones. Okay, so let us look at some different kind of data. So that's called descriptive statistics data. So that the descriptive statistics we will do. In the descriptive statistics, nothing but we are going to use the data from economics. So let us see whether the data from economics is available or not. So data economics. Okay, so data is available. Very good. So the economics data is also available, and you can just type economics here. So you will see what happens. Economics, if I just type, so this particular data, and this contains so many data sets and databases, and it has got POP, unemployment data. It is also there. Medically unemployed is also there. So this data can be used for computing your descriptive statistics. तो descriptive statistics का मतलब क्या हुआ? मुझे mean median mode चाहिए और कुछ नहीं. मुझे mean median वगैरह चाहिए. So this is how the economics data set looks like. Initial few lines, that is 10 lines I've already shown to you on the R star. So I've just generated this. So descriptive statistics कैसे निकालना है? So you have to find out the mean. So very easy to find out the mean. Mean का command mean है. Now for the standard deviation, in the standard deviation the command is
आमचा
ST.
कोर्स वर्क चालू आहे ना ते झाल्यावर
Remember that
कोर्स वर्क सुरू आहे कोर्स वर्क
Okay, in the standard deviation, the command is SD. Now, if you go to Microsoft Excel, the standard deviation command is stdev. Okay, so don't get confused. It might, I mean, those are different commands. So, and if I want to compute the correlation between PC and PS avert, so how do I do that? It is just, you see, I have to find out the correlation between this column and this column. I can find out the correlation here. And if the correlation value, so I just have to say core, so I just say economics dollar PCE. Okay, PCE is the column, and I'll say PS avert. Oh, sorry, economics and PS avert. Okay, so if I just do that, there will be two columns, PCE and PS avert, और उनके बीच में मुझे correlation निकालना है. If I find out the correlation, look at the correlation. It is saying 0.7928. इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? One must be increasing and other must be decreasing. ओके, ये नेगेटिव कोरिलेशन है. अब ये मुझे कैसे पता चलेगा? अगर मैं स्कैटर प्लॉट करूंगा ना पीसी वर्सेस पीएस अवर्ट का, तो लेट अस डू द स्कैटर प्लॉट. प्लॉट आई से इकोनॉमिक्स पीसीई. लेट अस डू द स्कैटर प्लॉट इकोनॉमिक्स डॉलर पीएस अवर्ट. इफ आई डू दैट, नेगेटिव कोरिलेशन है, इसका मतलब वन मस्ट बी इंक्रीजिंग, द अदर मस्ट बी डिक्रीजिंग. लुक एट हियर, वन इंक्रीजिंग हियर, द अदर डिक्रीजिंग हियर. ये उल्टा ऐसा सिस्टम है यहाँ पे. Okay, so and there is this occasional uprise here in this one. So correlation is may not be the correct measure of describing the relationship, but still we can see that there is a negative correlation. That means one is majorly speaking that one is increasing and the other is decreasing. All right, so let's go back to the presentation here, the descriptive statistics here. Now, if I want to calculate the correlation matrix, now before we calculate this correlation matrix, let us understand one particular command here, this C command. Okay. Now, what is the C command here? Let us understand. Remember in the beginning, we talked about one C command. ये हम लोगों ने मेरा डॉट पहला वाला बनाया था हम लोगों ने कुछ डेटा. Okay. Now, what happens here? If I just type 4:6, what does it give me? It gives me 456. If I just type 4:90, it will give me so many values. Now, can anybody tell me if I type C, comma 2, comma 4:6, what will it give me? It will give me 2 and 456. 4:6 gives 456 and there is 2. So it will give me 2456. Again, if I suppose if I'm typing say 2:9 and comma, I said 10:19. If I do that, what will it give me? It will give me 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 5, 6, 8, 9, 7, 8, 9, and then 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19. So this is how it should give me. This is what it is giving me. Okay. So ये थोड़ा सा और अच्छा कर लेता हूँ because यहाँ पे क्या ना continuous ही हो गया वो. Okay, this is how it is. Alright, so the C is basically a concatenate method. Okay, so what do I want to do is I want to extract the second column. Now let us look at the economics data. Let us look at the economics data. कैसा दिखता है? ये जो second column है, ये column है, इस column का कोई मतलब नहीं निकल रहा basically. Okay, so what we have to do is I want this column, the second column, 4, 3, 4, 5, 6. मतलब I want this column and I want this column, I want this column and I this one. How do I extract these columns? Let us first of all extract these columns. तो मैं क्या करूंगा? I just say economics. I remember I have to extract the columns. Okay, so I'll just say bracket, square bracket लगाऊंगा, comma डालूंगा, and then I will say C and in the 2 comma 4:6 ऐसा करूंगा. So remember 2 comma 4:6 give me 2, 4, 5, 6. Okay, अगर मैं ऐसा करता हूं, so it will give me those. Look here, it has given me the second column, the fourth column, the fifth column and the sixth column. Okay, अब मुझे इसका कोरिलेशन मैट्रिक्स निकालना है इस पर्टिकुलर चीज का. कोरिलेशन मैट्रिक्स मतलब क्या? द कोरिलेशन ऑफ दिस कॉलम विद इटसेल्फ, कोरिलेशन ऑफ दिस कॉलम with this column, correlation of this column with this column, correlation of this column with this column. So basically there are 4 columns. It should give me a 4 cross 4 matrix. Okay, so if I just type car, okay, just do that. Okay, ये अपना already data है, so I'm just typing car correlation of this particular data. ये मैं ऐसा करता हूँ, तो it should give me this. So what it is showing right now here, it is giving me the correlation of PCE with itself. Obviously, it is going to be 1. It is giving me the correlation of PCE with PS effort. It is going to be minus. अभी calculate किया था. PCE with unemployed. Okay, it has given me this. PCE with unemployed. So it has given me this. So 0.7 correlation, 0.6 correlation, lesser correlation, but still the correlation is there. So we can plot all these, the cross plots. We can do that. Okay, so now you see, it has given me the correlation matrix. Now, the correlation of PC with itself definitely is going to be 1. PS effort with itself definitely is going to be 1. PS unemployed and with unemployed definitely is going to be. Now, remember that this particular correlation matrix is an input for principal component analysis, which the people who are working with computer science or data science, they will know that people who are working with data, they will use the principal component analysis for extraction of features from the data set. Okay, the correlation matrix ऐसे calculate होता है R में. So this is how it is. So now if I want a pair plot, जिसको बोलते हैं ना pair plot, अभी हमने pair plot बनाया था, वो pair plot ऐसे बनता है. Okay, so let us do the pair plot. So ये जो G galley library है, ये इसको अपन use कर सकते हैं. And there is this gg pairs command. You can do the pair plot and let us do the pair plot and let's see what happens. Okay, so G galley gg pairs. Okay. gg pairs command is there and definitely उसमें कुछ बाकी है नहीं, हमको बस ये जो इकोनॉमिक्स के अंदर ये है ना, इसको कॉपी करके यहाँ पे चिपका देना, कमांड सी, और ये इसको यहाँ पे कर देना है और देखो ये पेयर प्लॉट आ जाएगा. So it is just what it is going to do is इस कॉलम के साथ पीसी कॉलम के साथ पीसी का, पीसी कॉलम के साथ पीएस अवर्ट का, ऐसे करके क्रॉस प्लॉट बना देता है और वही प्लॉटिंग जनरेट करना है. तो ये क्रॉस बना रहा है, बना दिया है. रुकिए, okay, and it has also given us the correlation values. Okay, it has got this scatter plotting and it has also given us these correlation values. Scatter plotting, correlation values. Scatter plotting, correlation values. Is this plot useful to those people who are working with data science, to those people who are working with data itself? Yes, it is very useful. इसका इस स्कैटर प्लॉट का बहुत बड़ा मतलब है. Why this scatter plot is like this? इसका बहुत बड़ा मतलब है. ओके, सो दिस 0.0309 ऐसे करके वैल्यू आया है, इसका मतलब इसका लो कोरिलेशन. ओके, सो दिस इज हाउ वी हैव टू इंटरप्रेट द वैल्यूज एंड फाइनली make conclusions out of the data. Initially, this is how we have to do conclusions out of the data. All right. So this is अभी जो प्लॉट दिखा है वो यही वाला था. ओके. Now, if I want to go into regression, now Professor Ubale actually gave us a long lecture on regression analysis. Regression अपन R में भी कर सकते हैं. Okay, so how to do regression in R? And for regression, we are going to use the Datarium package. The Datarium packages can be again installed by install.packages. And there is this marketing data set which is available with Datarium. If you require the library, that means if I just say on my, I just clean all the values here right now. Okay, let us clean all the values and I just say library Datarium. Okay, and it will, okay, and then I want to say data marketing. So as soon as I type the data marketing, the marketing data is loaded into the workspace and you can actually see what the data contains. So it has got 200 values there and you can actually see what it contains. Fine. So once we have installed a package called Datarium, and we have loaded the data marketing into the working space, and this is how the data looks like. अभी होता क्या है देखो आप, इसमें क्या है कि what they have tabulated is, if I publish or if I put advertising on YouTube, if I put advertising on Facebook, if I put advertisement on newspapers, what effect does it have on the sales? This is what the question is. Okay, and is there a mathematical relationship between these variables, these YouTube में advertisement का valuables, clicking values, average clicking values per day, and is there a relationship between YouTube, Facebook advertisements, newspaper advertisements, and final sales figures? So let us investigate on that. That is the investigation. And remember, the investigation begins with the scatter plot. So you have to do the scatter plot. Look, this is how it looks. Now, ये जो अपना scatter plot है right now, you are having a scatter plot between YouTube and sales. Okay, so YouTube में advertisements यहाँ पे है और sales की value इधर है. Now, this is not a linear graph. To me, it does not look like a linear graph. It looks like a jhadu. I don't know what it is. So again, if you visualize with ggplot also, you can get the same graph, linear type, non-linear type graph आ रहा है. Now you have to compute the model. तो कौन सा मॉडल? वो जो लीनियर रिग्रेशन का मॉडल है ना, डायरेक्टली आर में कैलकुलेट हो जाता है, डायरेक्टली. ओके, हमको कुछ ज्यादा मेहनत करना भी नहीं है. ओके, so because the focus should be on the value, so I'm just going to say head of the economics data. Okay, so if I do that, so मुझे कौन से values के बीच में no, not the economics data, marketing data, right? Marketing data. Okay, so I'm just doing the marketing data. I am going to plot between YouTube and sales, and I'm going to establish a linear relationship as sales as the output. Sales is in the y-axis and YouTube is in the x-axis. मुझे ये linear model establish करना है. How do I establish this linear model? Let us see this. Okay, linear model establish करना है. How to do this? Okay, so I just say model equals to model linear. I just name it like that. Model linear is linear model LM. Okay, so LM will give me linear regression. Output में मेरा क्या है? Sales. Output is sales and input is YouTube. Okay, if I do that and I say data equals to marketing, just you have to मुझे ये देना है. Data is marketing. Marketing is the name of the data set, and from that particular data set, use the sales column and the YouTube column, establish a linear regression between them, and I do that. And if I just ऐसे ही मैंने किया, and if I just type model dot linear, this is the value variable ना, ये देखो मुझे मिल गया. What it has given me? It has given me YouTube multiplied by 0.04754 and this intercept multiplied by 8 point, intercept is 8.43911. इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? ये उसका कोएफिशिएंट आ गया मेरे को. This coefficient I have got, and when I've got the coefficient, I want कि बाबा इसका r square, adjusted r square ये क्या है? अगर मुझे चाहिए, then how do I do? I just say summary and then I will just say model dot linear. Okay, if I just do that summary, तो summary करने से क्या होगा? It will give me a lot of information. It will give me what is my significance value. It will tell me what are my estimated values. ये जो coefficients है, this is the coefficient here. 8.4391 मत दिख रहा ना, ये coefficient है. ये 0.4754 दिख रहा ना, वो ये वाला है. Okay, and it has given me the probabilities also. Remember that those the probability that we talk about, level of significance 0.05, ये level of significance related probability है. और यहाँ पे f statistic है, और यहाँ पे देखो f statistic p value जो है, it is less than 2.2 e2, मतलब it's a very small number. इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? That means there is a significant influence of YouTube based advertisement on sales. इसका मतलब ये हुआ, इसका इंटरप्रिटेशन ऐसा है. the significant implication of YouTube based sales और इसका जो R square देखो R square भरी R square कम आ रहा है लेकिन F test की वैल्यू देखिए आप इसका मतलब significant value contribution है and also remember that R squared is not a good indicator of fit the F test is okay so you need the F test value as well as the R squared value together you cannot write them individually. So this is how you visualize the fit line plot. So once I have been able to create the scatter plot, I can then plot the linear model also. So this is the command is called AB line. So this is just simple. I don't want to really demonstrate that. So this is the visualization of the fit line plot. Now in the GG plot, if I want to do, GG plot will give me much more. So you can actually there are multiple methods of fitting and linear model, the LM, that the method that we use, linear model, that is the method used for smoothing and the GG plot will give you this particular plot. Which one is beautiful? The earlier one? Yeah, ye wala. You just tell me. Publication quality के हिसाब से दूसरा वाला सही है. Now let us talk about multiple regression in R. Multiple regression was also covered by Professor Ubade and you remember multiple regression का मतलब यह हुआ कि in this data whichever data that we had this data has multiple inputs that YouTube का values है Facebook से values है newspaper से values है and ultimately sales value. So what you have to do is sales is the ultimate outcome and I want to establish a mathematical model between YouTube, Facebook and newspaper. So I have to create a linear mathematical model between sales as the output and these three as the predictor values. Okay, so these are predictor variables YouTube, Facebook and newspaper and I have to estimate the value of sales. Okay, so how do I do that? I have to use the same command. It is the same command. ये lm ही command है. So this is the lm command. But here what I'll do YouTube plus Facebook plus newspaper ऐसा है. Okay, so YouTube, Facebook and newspaper and I'm going to use the same data. So the sales is the output. The input values are YouTube, Facebook and newspaper and let us do the same thing again and it will create the model. Now once the model has been created, if I want to display the summary of the model, so what do I have to do? Summary again. So if I do the summary, let us look at the summary now. Remember that I said my p-value or rather my level of significance is 0.05. अब मेरा जो लेवल ऑफ सिग्निफिकेंस है और जो टेस्ट से लेवल ऑफ सिग्निफिकेंस है अगर वो सिग्निफिकेंस वैल्यू ज्यादा बड़ा आया देखो लुक एट दिस बिग वैल्यू न्यूज़पेपर बिग वैल्यू न्यूज़पेपर 0.86 इसका मतलब न्यूज़पेपर का सिग्निफिकेंट कंट्रीब्यूशन नहीं है सेल्स पे मोस्ट ऑफ द कंट्रीब्यूशन फ्रॉम द सेल्स is by the YouTube and Facebook. इसका मतलब we can ignore the contribution of the newspaper to the sales information. If I want to ignore, then how do I do this ignorance? इसका मतलब I have to just ignore or I have to remove this newspaper from the particular model. If I remove this newspaper from the particular model, let us see how things change. If I do this and I again do this model linear, देखो यहाँ पे वैल्यूज तो कम हो गई R squared देख लो आप 0.8972 okay so this R square and adjusted R square is also there and your F statistics again is still less than 2.2 so that means all this model is much more preferable than the earlier model ये देख लीजिए आप क्या है ये क्या हो रहा है this model is much more preferable than the earlier model अभी ये मल्टीपल रिग्रेशन का एग्जांपल था ओके सिमिलरली यू कैन आल्सो इंटरप्रेट लाइक दिस दैट एंड फाइनली I can establish the formula. The formula can be established as sales equal to 3.5 plus 0.045 into YouTube प्लस क्यू। क्यों कैसे मालूम, ये कैसे मालूम चला? दिस इज द वैल्यू, दिस 3.0503 ये जो वैल्यू है, ये वैल्यू है। देन 0.045 ये वाला वैल्यू है। देन 0.187 ये वाला वैल्यू। So I have been able to establish a mathematical model between sales and the YouTube values and the Facebook values. So this is all for today. I hope you have understood a bit. छोटा ज्यादा नहीं समझ में आएगा तो कम से कम थोड़ा तो समझ में आया ही होगा। And tomorrow we will talk about statistical testing, that means more on hypothesis testing with the R statistical software. So let me. Was the lecture clear or ऐसे ही हवा में गया?